The Royal Rumble is perhaps one of the most exciting pay-per-views of the year because of its sheer unpredictability and shock factor. No one knows what's going to happen, apart from, of course, those who book the Rumble matches. But even then, sometimes the Royal Rumble can go so off course that even they weren't expecting what was to come. This has then led them to have to adapt on the fly and come up with alternative endings. In this video, I break down these exact cases, the 5 Royal Rumble eliminations that weren't meant to happen, which completely threw WWE off and meant that they had to make some adjustments mid-match to make up for them. Enjoy. Number 5. Alex Riley, Royal Rumble 2011. In 2011, The Miz was WWE Champion, on track to defend his title against John Cena at WrestleMania 27. The Miz's protege at the time was Alex Riley, who was scripted to cause John Cena's elimination in the Rumble match to further build up their feud. However, during the match, Riley was accidentally eliminated by John Cena and Kofi Kingston after slipping off the apron onto the floor. This, of course, wasn't in the script. You can clearly tell because Cena's look of disbelief freezes him, and neither him nor Kingston are able to move. After the elimination, you can also clearly hear The Miz on commentary say,
"Notice Alex Riley. Alex Riley is being very, very smart right now."
Thinking he was just biding time on the outside of the ring, but he was in fact eliminated. No commentator picked up on the fact until much later. The Rumble continued and John Cena was in the corner motionless as several referees talked to him. WWE had to think on their feet and they managed to adapt on the fly and change plans. So instead, they had Riley come back out later in the match so that Miz, who wasn't even a Rumble entrant, could eliminate Cena. Although it wasn't the ideal scenario, they did recover well from the botch and made it somewhat look as though it was part of the plan. But who knows, had the botch not happened, maybe we wouldn't have seen Santino in the final 2 of the 2011 Rumble. Number 4. Randy Savage, Royal Rumble 1992. In 1992, Randy Savage was involved in a storyline with Jake the Snake Roberts, where Roberts was tormenting Savage and his wife, first by hiding a snake in one of their wedding presents, and later by tying Savage up in the ropes and having a cobra bite him. During the Rumble, Savage got some revenge by eliminating Roberts over the top rope. But then, he did a high-flying move over the top rope onto Roberts, which technically meant that he eliminated himself. What followed was awkwardness and improvisation. On commentary, Bobby Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon knew he wasn't supposed to be eliminated, but he just went over the top. They said Randy was out because he'd willingly jumped over the ropes. Then, they changed their minds, and Heenan pulled the explanation out of his ass that Savage wasn't eliminated because he left on his own accord.
Savage wasn't thrown over the top rope, so that means he can go back in.
And while this is all happening, Undertaker nearly breaks character by getting out of the ring and throwing Savage back in. The match then continued as normal, but credit to Heenan, Monsoon, and The Undertaker. This mistake was so impressively handled at the time that no one knew that something went wrong. Number 3. Mil Mascaras, Royal Rumble 1997. In 1997, Mil Mascaras entered the WWE Royal Rumble after being a huge star over in Mexico. WCW was having a great response with the luchadors they booked, so WWE wanted to do the same. He was described by Bruce Pritchard as the single biggest Mexican star ever. Mascaras was obsessed with his image in Mexico, which meant that he had to maintain kayfabe extra hard, especially when he wasn't in Mexico. According to Pritchard, he didn't do jobs. He'd answer while moving his finger side to side and say, "No yob, no yob," and refuse to do the favors for people and put them over. This led to some of his fellow workers feeling that he could sometimes be arrogant and uncooperative in the ring. Even the widely respected Mick Foley said in his book, "In my dealings with Mascaras in Texas, I'd found him to be selfish, redundant, and lousy." During the 1997 Rumble, Mascaras essentially eliminated himself by leaping off the top rope. Pritchard says that they figured this was the best way to handle the Mascaras elimination from the Rumble, so that the luchador could look good in front of the fans even though they knew he wasn't going to win. Mascaras tried to get back in and later claimed that he was surprised when he was eliminated, because the rules of the Royal Rumble are that you had to be thrown over the top rope by somebody and can't eliminate yourself. He's got a point, as that's exactly what happened with Savage years earlier. Vince McMahon's reaction on commentary was hilarious. The boss sounded rather ticked off as he tried to maintain his babyface composure.
He got confused there and got carried away.
In Mascaras' defense, to get to the top, he actually went through the ropes, not over them, so why he wasn't able to return to the match is still unknown. And considering everyone in that Rumble was thrown over the top rope, including eventual winner Stone Cold Steve Austin, Mascaras does have a case for claiming to be the true winner of the 1997 Royal Rumble. Number 2, Steve Austin, Royal Rumble 1996. Stone Cold Steve Austin revealed he made a crucial mistake in the 1996 Royal Rumble, which meant the finale had to be changed while the match was in progress. Austin entered at number 24 and was meant to be heavily involved in the finale of the event, but it all went horribly wrong after he made a crucial mistake, inadvertently eliminating himself from the match. Austin later said on his podcast, "I was supposed to be the 4th guy left, and my first year in the company, that's a pretty good push. I was doing a spot, I believe it was with Fatu, and all the guys were oiled up, so the ropes were very slippery. I was going to do a deal where he does something to me and I was able to take a bump over the top, hang on to the top rope and come back in the bottom. Well, zip zip boom, I lost my grip and fell out on my butt by the guardrail. I thought, oh man, I'm the new guy in the company, they're trying to give me a little bit of a push here by being the 4th last guy, and I blow it." Luckily for Austin, the mistake didn't prove too costly in his career. Number 1, Batista, Royal Rumble 2005. In 2005, Batista and John Cena were the last 2 men in the Rumble. Batista was supposed to win by eliminating Cena, but by accident, both men tumbled out of the ring together, and if you slow it down enough, you can clearly see that Batista touched down first. The referees quickly reacted. Half the referees held up Batista's hand, half the referees held up Cena's hand. They were stalling for time until they got word from backstage on how to proceed. This was definitely not the plan, and an infuriated Vince McMahon came storming down the ramp, only to tear both of his quads upon entering the ring. This was such a bizarre moment for fans watching at the time, as they had no idea about Vince's injury, but credit to the man to continue to keep a somewhat straight face, although he must have been in absolute agony. The match was restarted as Cena and Batista fumbled their way through the finish. You can hear Cena yell, "Spinebuster," right before Batista delivers one, and then Batista was eventually crowned the Royal Rumble winner. This still goes down as one of the greatest botches in WWE history. Well, there you have it folks, the top 5 Royal Rumble eliminations that weren't supposed to happen. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Which one surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time.